Hey friends, welcome back to Crafter Support. If you're new, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. My name is Andrea, and today we're going to be doing our Illustrated Faith Proverbs 31 Bible study. So I have my printable here from Illustrated Faith, and I have the stickers in the background that I used my Cricut to cut out, and I also have these really pretty pens from Amazon. I'll put a link to everything below. I'm not an affiliate with Illustrated Faith or Amazon. These are just the things I like to use. All right, so jumping right in. Today's study is going to be on diligence, prudence, and generosity. Highlighting generosity because I felt like that was something I really needed to pray about and work on. So the main scripture that they have bold-faced under the heading is, "She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy." So throughout this study, I was reading it, I was in my Bible, I was studying, and I was thinking, okay, focusing on who in my mind is poor and needy. Like, who do I know that I could help, give food to, give money to? Like, how can I bless somebody? And I kept thinking food and money, food and money. That's all I could think about. I'm like, okay, well, there is a homeless man, or I think he's homeless, that lives in Altoona. I could, give him money or give him food. The next time I'm up in Altoona, like, that would be helping the poor and the needy. And I was so focused on that. And the more I did the study and the more I prayed about it, I just kept thinking like food and money. And it's so crazy. Like, that was my thoughts. And then I kind of ran into a friend that I hadn't seen in quite a while. And I realized, like, when she started talking to me, I wasn't being a very good friend. And not that I was an unkind friend, but that I had been like, we had both had things going on in our lives that we really just didn't keep in touch. And that small, short opportunity that we did have, I realized my friend was in need. She needed someone to talk to. She needed encouragement, and she needed a friend to just listen to her and, maybe just give her a little bit of advice, even though I don't know that my advice is the best, but she just needed someone to talk to. So I prayed about it, and not like 5 minutes after I had left her, I messaged her. She stopped back in by the house. She had to pick something up for me. And I was like, hey, I have 1 hour tomorrow between 10 and 11 that I can come over and, we can just sit and chat and talk about some things. And I realized at that moment that God was saying, the poor and the needy are not always people that need money and food. Your friend was struggling and she needed a friend to listen to her. And at first, again, I felt like a horrible friend. I was like, I'm a terrible friend. I haven't reached out to her, and she's called me so many times whenever I was busy and I just wasn't able to like sit down and talk. And I come to find out she really needed a friend to talk to. And not that we can just drop everything we're doing every time a friend calls, but it is an opportunity that when you have that 1 hour that you can meet with a friend for coffee or tea or whatever, that you can have those one-on-one conversations and you can meet the needs of your friends simply by listening. And I thought that was such a revelation that God gave me, that it's not about money and food all the time, even though that's how, like, when somebody gets sick, you make them a meal. When somebody, has a loss of job and you can help them financially, you can do that. That's amazing. But this friend just needed to talk and to listen. So I started opening my mind up to a little bit more of options versus money and food. And I really saw an opportunity that wouldn't take a lot of time from me personally, because it's something I already love to do, which is sending cards. So I've already sent cards. Like, I normally do that. I make cards. I sell products to make cards. But I thought my new goal is to send out 3 cards a week. Whether that's to a friend and, just saying hello to a friend I haven't, talked to in a while, or somebody I know is sick, or somebody I know is maybe going through something, just like an encouraging card or something like that, or even a thank you card to somebody who, has been kind and taken their time to help me. So that's something that I set a goal. And then I was like, okay, I can set more goals to be diligent, prudent, and generous. So I started reading, and in this, it talks about It says, a fear of the Lord produces diligence in us because we approach our responsibilities not from a perspective of duty, but rather because they are responsibilities that God has given us, and we are doing them through His strength and for His glory. The characteristics of being diligent must be rooted in our God, who is the ultimate example of diligence, as He is continually working all things together for His glory and our good. God is calling women of strength to be diligent. And I was like, I do waste a lot of time scrolling on my phone and, going through Facebook. Oh, my friend got this, or they did that, or they went here. And I think sometimes without reading into Facebook posts and stuff like that, but like if you haven't reached out to a friend in a while, like that could be a really good start to helping and meeting the needs of the people around us and our friends. So I don't know, it was just such like a huge thing for me that I was like, I need to start making my friends a priority. My family is my first priority. Don't be mistaken, that is my first priority. They get the absolute best of me. But outside of that, I realized, God puts people in our lives either for a reason or a season, and I truly believe that. And right now there are 3 families in my life that I am diligently praying for, and that they're always in my thoughts and prayers. And it's so amazing how I see God working through those families, not just me helping them, like not just my prayers. I'm not saying that I help them, but through God, I'm able to pray for them. And it's not always about money and food. Sometimes people have a ton of money and a ton of food, and they're missing out on that relationship. And that is kind of where I was just amazed by this. And I know I keep saying that, but it just blew my mind that just by listening and talking to a friend, I could be helping them and encouraging them and doing what God called me to do, which is listen and reach my hand out to those that are in need, no matter what that need is, because He will provide for them and He'll provide for us. We just have to be the servants and do what He calls us to do. So later on, it talks about when we can be diligent and prudent with our time and energy, it will allow us to become generous, which is another characteristic we find in Proverbs 31. Generosity can take many forms, giving of our emotions, time, money, talents, etc. She is generous with her time, and she opens her hands to the poor and needy. She reaches out her hands to the poor and needy. We too can be women who give generously with our time, emotions, and material wealth. So I really focused on that study, and when I was doing this study, I just kept thinking of flowers. Like, you give people flowers, and people purchase flowers when they get married. Flowers are like a big thing, and so I used a lot of the stickers that were floral stickers in this layout, and I just was writing down my goals for my friends. And of course I did add my family goals there, which is give them my very best and then move on to my friends. And I also it says, what responsibilities do you have in your specific season of life, and how are you being diligent in the responsibilities? I said my home is my first responsibility, my job, and my jobs consist of, I'm now working part-time in daycare, and then my full-time job is YouTube and all of my social media. And that was something that I really had to look at, like, what are my priorities and how am I helping others, and am I doing what God calls me to do? And so those are the things that I'm really focusing on, and I really enjoyed doing all of those things. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. And I just want to keep that focus on remembering to send those 3 cards out each week. And if I can't think of somebody to send a card out to, I could put some names in a hat, and pull them out and send one to, my daughter even. She lives with us. But just whatever it takes, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Proverbs 31 woman. And yeah. All right, guys, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.